Over in Pakistan, Imran Khan is on the charge. He used to be a pace bowling all-rounder, but now he's a mystery spinner. The next ball could be anything, a dusra, a tisra or a flipper. His goal is clear though, to take the Pakistan Army's wicket. No leader in Pakistan has dared to try. You see, the army is like that player who brings all the equipment. He owns the bat, the ball and the stumps. So if you take his wicket, it's game over. He'll just leave with all the equipment. Nonetheless, Imran Khan is trying. On Saturday, he addressed the people of Pakistan again. He spoke for nearly 1 hour. Every statement he made was an attack on the Pakistani military. First in line was the ISPR chief. ISPR is the Inter-Services Public Relations. Think of it as the army's mouthpiece. They'd called Imran Khan a hypocrite last week. Here's how he responded.
देखिए ISPR साहब, मेरी जरा गौर से बात सुनना। आप जब पैदा भी नहीं ना हुए थे, तब मैं अपने मुल्क को दुनिया में रिप्रेजेंट करता था। और आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि जब वॉर ऑन टेरर हुई और जो पाकिस्तान की मिट्टी पलीत हुई दुनिया में, कि हमारा क्या जी फौज दोगली है, क्योंकि तब मुशर्रफ का मार्शल लॉ था। ये हमारे से झूठ बोलती है, करती कुछ है, कहती कुछ है, डॉलर्स हमारे से लेती है और दोगली गेम खेलती है। डबल गेम, दोगला तब नाम इस्तेमाल होता था। पाकिस्तान को वर्ड ही दोगला इस्तेमाल करते थे, डबल गेम का नाम करते थे।
Full marks for honesty. Pakistan did play a double game on terror. But here's what Imran Khan won't tell you. He too enjoyed that game. Imran Khan had no problem helping the Taliban in Afghanistan. Remember, he was once called Taliban Khan. But now he's suddenly grown a conscience. What explains this change? In one word, strategy. Let's talk cricket again. The Pakistan Army is not a rookie batsman. They've been playing this game for 7 decades, so dismissing them will not be easy. So what does Imran Khan do? He tries to get the crowd involved. Maybe if the audience turns against them, the army will lose their focus. Who knows? Maybe even lose their wicket. So that's what Imran Khan is trying to do. And to achieve that, he's breaking some unwritten rules of Pakistani politics. One such rule is 1971. That's when Pakistan broke into two. East Pakistan became modern-day Bangladesh. We know the real story of that war. Even our school textbooks mention them. But not in Pakistan. In the last 50 years, Pakistan has tweaked the narrative. It's not Bangladesh's war of independence for them. It's an Indian conspiracy to break Pakistan. That's what the Pakistani public has been taught. But Imran Khan disagrees. He says what happened in 1971 was a gross injustice to East Pakistan. Listen to this.
आज फिर से याद कराना चाहता हूं ईस्ट पाकिस्तान का। मेरी जिंदगी में हुआ ईस्ट पाकिस्तान। मार्च 1971 के अंदर मैं वहां मैच खेलने गया था ईस्ट पाकिस्तान की अंडर 19 के खिलाफ। हमारा जो जहाज वापस आया था वो आखिरी जहाज था। मुझे अभी भी याद है कि कितनी नफरत हो गई थी पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ। हमें तो यह पता ही नहीं था। इसी तरह जिस तरह आज मीडिया कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं, तब ये मीडिया कंट्रोल कर रहे थे।
Why is that statement important? Because the Pakistani deep state does not see it that way. They're yet to apologize for the Bangladesh genocide. They're yet to admit it wasn't some Indian conspiracy. In fact, let's rewind to 2022. General Qamar Javed Bajwa was retiring from office. He was the army chief. At one of his farewell events, he talked about 1971. Do you know what he said? Let me quote for you. 1971 wasn't a military failure, but a political failure. Our soldiers fought courageously in East Pakistan. That's what Bajwa said. He blamed the politicians, not the generals. Now listen to Imran Khan's version.
मैं तो इंग्लैंड गया पढ़ने के लिए, उधर मुझे पता चला वहां क्या हुआ है। आज हमें समझना चाहिए कि ईस्ट पाकिस्तान के लोगों से इतना बड़ा जुल्म हुआ। उनकी जो पार्टी इलेक्शन जीतती है, जिसको प्राइम मिनिस्टर बनना चाहता था, चाहिए था, उसके खिलाफ मिलिट्री एक्शन कर दिया, मुल्क गवा दिया, तबाह करवा दिए। 90,000 हमारे फौजी कैदी बन गए। मुल्क को नुकसान आप अंदाजा भी नहीं लगा सकते कितना हुआ। बंद कमरों में फैसले होते हैं, छोटे से थोड़े से लोग बैठ जाते हैं जिनको पता ही नहीं बाकी दुनिया कैसे चलती है, वहां बैठ के फैसले कर लेते हैं।
Couple of things to note here. The 1971 reference is not coming out of nowhere. It's a warning to the army. Their actions in 1971 split Pakistan into two. Imran Khan is reminding Rawalpindi of that. or what could happen if his popularity and demands are ignored. Pakistan could break up again. That's what he's saying. Secondly, it's a strategy to discredit the army. Just think about it. First, he raised the war on terror, how Pakistan was accused of playing a double game. Then he talked about 1971. Who was in charge on both these occasions? The Pakistani army. So Imran Khan is trying to get a singular message out to the people that the army means trouble. What's Rawalpindi doing about this? After all the drama they unleashed, climbing down is not really an option. It would destroy the army's image of invincibility, or at least what's left of it. So an escalation seems more likely. And how would that play out? Well, here's what Imran Khan is saying. First, his wife, Bushra Begum, will be arrested. Then the army will come for him. Imran Khan is expecting 10 years in jail on some sedition charge. He believes the crackdown will begin tomorrow. The question is, will the courts defend him again? Well, that's where the army's puppets come into play, aka the civilian government. Pro-government protesters have hit the streets in Pakistan. Today, they tried to storm the Supreme Court. Take a look at this. No tear gas for them, I guess. The idea is to intimidate the courts, to make sure Imran Khan does not get bail again. If the courts play along, what happens next? What happens if Imran Khan is arrested, convicted and disqualified? He's already dropped hints with the 1971 references. So arrest or not, Imran Khan is not planning on giving up. For him, this is a knockout contest. It can only end with one side being eliminated. The big headline from Turkiye. There will be a second round in the presidential election. None of the candidates breached the 50% mark. Recep Tayyip Erdogan got 49.42%. His rival Kemal Kilicdaroglu got 44.95%. And a third candidate impressed as well. Sinan Oğan, who got around 5% of the vote. So Erdogan was the most popular candidate, but that's not enough. You need more than 50% of the vote to become the president of Turkey, which means there will be a runoff. Think of it as a second round. It will be held on the 28th of May. There will only be two candidates in the fray, Erdogan and Kilicdaroglu. On Monday, both men were confident of winning the runoff. Erdogan more than his rival. Listen to this.
If our nation says a second round, we gladly accept it. We will absolutely win this election in the second round. Everyone will see that.
I would like to emphasize it once again that the fact that the election results have not yet been finalized does not change the fact that our nation's choice is clearly in our favor. We strongly believe that we will continue to serve our nation for the next 5 years.
I'll tell you why Erdogan is confident. Because he wasn't expecting to do so well. Late opinion polls predicted Kilicdaroglu in the lead. But the actual results tell a different story. It is Erdogan who is within striking distance of victory, which brings us to the runoff. Who has the edge going into round two? Looks like Erdogan. He's leading his rival by 4.5%. Plus his party has captured the parliament. Two things that will work in Erdogan's favor. But there is one person who could spoil his party, and that's Sinan Oğan, the third candidate who got 5% of the vote. He hasn't endorsed either candidate yet, but chances are he won't support the opposition. You see, Oğan is an ultra-nationalist. His biggest enemies, Syrian refugees and Kurds. But Kilicdaroglu counts on Kurdish support, so ideologically there's a problem. Unless some last-minute deal is struck, an alliance looks very unlikely. Having said that, this is politics, so anything is possible. The Turkish people have 2 weeks to introspect, to think hard about what they really want. And the choice is stark. Erdogan and Kilicdaroglu are like chalk and cheese. They disagree on most policy issues. Erdogan believes in centralized power. He wants to continue with the presidential system. Kilicdaroglu wants to abolish it. He wants to empower the parliament and the prime minister. Erdogan has traditionally villainized Turkey's Kurdish community. His rival has promised to defend them. He also plans to normalize ties with NATO, approve Sweden's entry into the alliance, and reconcile differences with Europe. Meanwhile, Erdogan thinks the West is trying to topple him. They're certainly capable of it. But there is no evidence so far to suggest this. There's a reason why global media is obsessed with this election. I know we keep saying all elections are consequential, but this one fits the bill, really, because it will realign the global order. In fact, let me tell you what a post-Erdogan Turkiye could look like. For starters, no more Islamist rhetoric. Kilicdaroglu is a committed secularist. He ended his campaign by visiting Kemal Atatürk's mausoleum in Ankara. Guess how Erdogan ended the campaign? By visiting the Hagia Sophia Mosque. Really sums up the differences. Kilicdaroglu is likely to increase interest rates. Central banks across the world have done it, but not in Turkey. Erdogan opposed interest hikes, calling them un-Islamic. The result is this, more than 40% inflation. Kilicdaroglu has also promised to triple welfare spending. He wants to set aside 12% of the budget for social programs. Looking at Turkey's economy, they need it. Let's also look at foreign policy. NATO would love Kilicdaroglu to win. He may not completely break away from Russia, but he won't be a shaky partner, not like Erdogan was. He has also promised to restart talks to join the European Union. Erdogan started those talks, but he lost interest in the last decade. So the West will be hoping for an Erdogan loss. Having said that, it's not all rosy. Kilicdaroglu is a Turkish nationalist first. So he plans to normalize relations with Syria. He wants to send Syrian refugees back as soon as possible. Among all these differences, one stands out, and that's temperament. Erdogan had big ambitions in the Islamic world. Kilicdaroglu does not. He wants to end Turkish intervention in Libya and Syria. To sum up, here's what a post-Erdogan Turkey could look like. Less volatile, more predictable, more approachable. But looking at Sunday's results, that seems far off. Now let's talk about the other major election this weekend. Thailand, a Southeast Asian country known for its beaches, ancient ruins and Buddhist temples. Most recently, its protests against the monarchy. Thailand is home to some 70 million people, and they have voted for change. The country was ruled by a military-backed government. In this election, it has suffered a crushing defeat. And the big winner is this man, Pita Limjaroenrat.
And I am ready to be the prime minister for all, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me. The sentiment of the era has changed, and it's right. It was the right timing that people have been through enough of lost decade in the past decade, and today is a new day, and hopefully it's full of bright sunshine of hope going forward.
He's the leader of a party called Move Forward. They campaign for change. They promise to fight corruption, to scrap archaic laws, and to break the stranglehold of the military. They promised institutional reform, and it seems the message resonated with the voters.
I hope our country gets a prime minister who can truly develop our nation. I want our economy and education to improve.
I also feel that it carries a new meaning and will bring about even more changes. And I hope that there will be good things happening in Thailand.
The Move Forward party did better than expected, in fact. They did better than the party of the Shinawatra clan. This family, the Shinawatra clan, and their party have won every election in Thailand since 2001. Their leaders have been ousted in military coups. This time they finished second, and they've agreed to support the winners.
Congratulate and accept the fact that the Move Forward party has proposed to lead the formation of the new government and further agrees with the Move Forward party's invitation extended to parties from the Democratic Alliance to join the new government as stated by the leader of the Move Forward party. We wish to confirm that the party has no plan to compete with the Move Forward party in order to form the new government.
This is a party of dynasts. It has always been led by a Shinawatra. This time, their prime ministerial candidate was another Shinawatra. Her father was a prime minister, so was her aunt. This time, she wanted to take the role, but given the numbers, she's agreed to join the Move Forward coalition.
Do we feel disappointment? Yes, there is some disappointment because we thought we would be the #1 party. However, we accept it. We express our congratulations and cheer for democracy and the nation's progress. Therefore, it is not a personal matter. It is a political matter. Everyone must move forward together.
The coalition will be key to ousting the military-backed government. 6 parties are coming together for this. But beating the military in Thailand won't be easy. To understand why, you must understand the basics of the election. It's inherently rigged. It's an unfair system. The military changed the rules in 2017. They gave themselves unfair advantage. The parliament in Thailand has more than 700 seats in all. but 250 of these seats are appointed by the military. The election is for the remaining 500 seats. So winning a simple majority is not enough. You must win 376 out of 500 seats to be able to beat the military. And even then, the military has a history of overturning the people's mandate. Reports say they're already looking to dissolve the Move Forward party.
I'm not worried, but I'm not careless. But with the consensus that came out of the election, it will be quite a hefty price to pay for someone who is thinking of abolishing the election results or forming a minority government. Is probably far-fetched from now. And I think the people of Thailand would not allow that to happen.
The Thai military was hammered in this election. It was an indictment of the misrule under Prayut Chan-o-cha. He was a general who took power after a coup in 2014, and since then he's been the Prime Minister. The people of Thailand have voted against him. His party has finished 5th with just 36 seats. Chan-o-cha was seen slipping away from his party headquarters late last night. He told reporters that he respected democracy and the election. Remains to be seen if he'll walk the talk and how the Thai military will respond to this humiliation. And now it's time for Vantage Shots, images that tell the story. We've been bringing you updates from the ongoing elections in Thailand and Turkiye. We'll show you some more images of the current political mood in the two countries. Meanwhile, a Palestinian cyclist was injured after he was hit by an air raid last week. Myanmar and Bangladesh just witnessed Cyclone Mocha. What does a cyclone look like from space? We'll show you new images, satellite images of the cyclone over the Bay of Bengal. And the world celebrated Mother's Day over the weekend. Some of you must have celebrated with flowers and chocolates. But a mother-son duo in Germany celebrated with a motorcycle backflip. And finally, what makes the 15th of May significant? Taking you back in history, on this day, Britain tested its first hydrogen bomb. The year was 1957. The explosion was a part of a series of tests in the Pacific. This was a thermonuclear explosion. These bombs can be 100 times more powerful than atomic bombs. Their light can cause permanent blindness to people looking from miles away. This particular explosion ignited a major debate about the dangers of nuclear weapons. It led to the establishment of an organization called Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. We're leaving you with this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is a very important election for us, but I'm hopeful.
email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony. The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.